We are again. You have another fantastic team. Talk about your team this year, Kentucky, and where do you handicap them with the rest of the field?
Well, I don't know the rest of the field because I haven't seen a whole lot of people play. I would tell you that we're starting 3 freshmen and 2 sophomores right now. We're a very young team. We do have some veteran players, but they're sophomores. I have one senior who's a very good player, and Darius Miller. Eloy Vargas is a senior, but we have a young team. So you don't know. Like the first half against Kansas, I had no idea what was going to happen.
Right.
But they came out. They have a nice will to win. So I like that about them, but we're very, very young.
Kentucky playing in-state this week in about an hour from ESPN. They'll play Penn State tomorrow at noon. Of course, you take recruit some of these great players who then, as you know, are probably going to move on. It's hard to build a veteran
You don't know
team.
that. You don't know.
You don't know?
Eric Bledsoe. No one knew he'd be the 18th pick of the draft and become one of the top 10 rookies. No one knew DeMarcus could leave after 1 year. Daniel Wharton played 16 minutes a game and was drafted in the first round. You don't know. The issue is you do your best to prepare these young people. If they have that opportunity and choose to do it, you support them. And then you recover and you try to do it again with young guys. So we don't know year to year. The beginning of the year, Brandon Knight didn't look like he would leave after a year. By the end of the year, there was no question he was leaving. So we don't know.
How do you keep getting these good players? What's your pitch when you go in and sell them on Kentucky? Obviously, it's a great historic program, but why are you so good at recruiting this?
Well, first of all, it's a history of what's going on before. They look at John Walls and all these guys. They look at Derrick Rose, at Tyreek Evans. They go right down the line and say, well, you know, that's what I want. The issue for me is I don't have a magic wand. It is hard. You don't want to come to Kentucky and think it's going to be easy. You're not going to be the only player. You're not getting 30 shots a game. You're going to have to play with other good players in practice. You're going to be everybody's Super Bowl. You're going to have to show up every game. But that's how you reach those dreams. But it's hard. It's easier to go somewhere else. And I also tell them, I'm not the only place where you can go and reach your dreams. But we are unique at Kentucky.
What's the difference then? What is the unique factor you think you're able to sell to pick your school?
We've had 9 draft picks in the last 2 years, and that's a big part of it. But last term, we had a 3.14 grade point average. We've graduated all the seniors who have gone through the program the last 2 years. This summer was a 3.16 grade point average. So you're not sacrificing anything. You're just saying if you can go pro and you have that opportunity, go. See, there are people that think I like one and done. I can't stand it. I'd love them to go to 2 or 3 years. Think of this program, 2 or 3 years. The other thing I want to tell you, they look at it and say, well, he's only recruiting one and dones. No, we're recruiting good basketball players. Now, we help them develop. If that's good, good. We want them to go. But, again, I tell them you want to educate yourself while you're here. If you're here a year, 2 years, 3, you want to educate yourself. Why? Because an educated man is not going to get robbed, and you're not going to steal from an educated man.
Tell me about Anthony Davis, your new hotshot freshman. How good can he be?
He's really good. He's really long. He's got a great feel for the game. Michael Gilchrist, the same, strong. Michael can play 3 positions. He's defending point guards. You have Marcus Teague as a point guard who's really doing well. He had 6 turns in the first half against Kansas, lost his mind, had none in the second half. And then you have Kyle Wilshire, who did not play. I've gotten more, stop sending me this stuff on Kyle. I know how good he is. He's a McDonald's. He will be playing. But that game kind of got wacky, and it got out of a rotation that I wanted to play him more. But he's a terrific player.
What's the most important thing that you have to coach a young team at this part of the year to keep them moving forward and have a chance to win it all?
Got to be great defensively, but you must do this together. You have to be your brother's keeper. We don't compete with each other. We complete each other. We compete with the opponent. You're not competing within this team. You complete each other. Do what you do well. Respect each other, and let's go forward. And that's what we're trying to do.
What's your biggest concern with this team?
You know what? It's just we just want to keep getting better. Just that's all I'm looking for. And my concern would be if we step back. But these are a bunch of good kids, and I'm talking the whole team, a bunch of good guys. So I would say to you, we will be pretty good in March. Right now, we're spotty at best. But by March, I think I'll have a good basketball team.
And what's Coach Cal's overall state of the college basketball game? Just wide-ranging philosophy, what's going on, the future, 10 years from now?
Well, I think we're going to super conferences. I think that's what's going to happen. It's driven by football. I think you're going to have maybe a parochial league of 60 teams or 48 teams. I think you're going to have football playing league that's not going to be in the super conferences, a non-football playing league that's not in the super conferences. Maybe the super conferences have other tournaments where we include all these other teams. At the end of the day, I just see it's unfolding. Everybody wants parity. Parity, level playing field. Well, that's the only way you can have it. There is no other way. So if you want that level playing field, if you want parity, it's that way. Separating, probably having your own governing body, and you go forward that way.
And rules-wise, whether it be the three-point line, would you like to see it back, or any other rules that you think maybe?
No, I like the arc underneath the basket.
Okay.
So the third man cannot get that charge. He's got to come out of that.
Right.
You know, he can't stand under the basket. So the level of basketball right now is really good. The games you see are competitive. You're also seeing the level of basketball rise. I do hope the NBA comes to their senses and comes together and they start playing, but right now college basketball seems to be fronting center.
And then finally, your expectations going into Kentucky, have they lived up to those expectations?
You know, you think you know how crazy it is. You don't until you get there. We have 1.2 million on Twitter that follow us. I have 300,000 people that are very dear friends on Facebook. What? These fans are everywhere, and they're crazy, but it's what you want in coaching. You know, the building is full every game, and they're into it 24/7. But you know what? They're great fans. They're great for our team. They're great for our state. I've had fun.
Coach John Calipari in Kentucky, another hot young team this year, and they're playing Penn State this weekend here in Connecticut. Coach, good luck.
Thanks.
My friend.
Thanks,